They said they were thankful, then they locked the door. I brought the wine, the pie, the gifts, and they pretended I didn't exist. So I shut them out. And this time, it was permanent. The porch light was on when I arrived. The table was set. I could see it through the window. A full Thanksgiving spread. Roast turkey, mashed potatoes, Mom's cranberry salad no one really liked, but she always made anyway. I stood on the welcome mat holding a pumpkin pie I'd bought that morning. The good kind from the bakery downtown, not store-bought junk. My breath caught as I reached for the doorbell. I'd told them I'd be late. Work emergency, not that anyone asked. I paid for Dad's heart meds last week, and my brother's gas tank yesterday. The least they could do was wait. The door opened. Adam stood there. My younger brother, college dropout turned creative freelancer, whatever that meant. He glanced at the pie, then at me, and didn't move. "Hey," I said, forcing a smile. "Happy Thanksgiving." He didn't respond, just turned slightly and muttered, "Mom said not to let you in." I blinked. "What?" "She said you'd show up anyway, but we agreed this year would be different." Then the door shut, not slammed, just quietly, decisively shut, like I was a solicitor, like I'd gotten the address wrong. I stood there with that stupid pie and a knot in my stomach. It took a full 10 seconds to register. They really weren't letting me in. My own family. On Thanksgiving. I didn't scream, didn't knock again. I just turned around, walked back to my car, and sat behind the wheel. Hands gripping the pie, throat tight. I watched the silhouettes move inside, Dad carving the turkey, Mom lighting candles, Adam with his phone out, probably filming the food for Instagram. I waited for a call, a text, a comeback. Nothing came. Instead, I heard my phone buzz 10 minutes later. It was Adam. I picked up. "Don't be mad," he said, like this was a parking ticket or a bad movie choice. "But we just couldn't deal with your energy this year. You always make everything about you." I laughed. An ugly, breathless sound. "Right. Me showing up with pie and paying your bills. That's what ruined the holiday." There was a pause, then a click. The idiot forgot to hang up. And I heard him say, clear as day, to someone else in the room, he still thinks paying for everything means he's part of the family. That was it. That was the match. I opened my banking app right there in the car, canceled the rent auto pay for their house, blocked Adam's gas card, shut down the emergency fund account I'd been topping up for 5 years. It felt like surgery, brutal, precise, and absolutely necessary. If you've ever been the one holding your family together while they treat you like a burden, if you've ever had to choose peace over people who claim to love you only when it's convenient, then you'll get why I did what I did. And if stories like this make you stop and think, hit like or subscribe. It helps more than you know. I didn't sleep that night. I sat on my couch, lights off, phone face down. Somewhere between 11 p.m. and 3 a.m., the buzzing started. Texts from Mom, Dad, even Adam. Most were vague. "Please call. Let's talk. This isn't you." Not one apology. Not one. "We're sorry we hurt you." The next morning, I made coffee and stared at the stack of unopened mail on my counter. Electric bill, credit card rewards, a reminder for my annual physical, normal stuff, the kind of life I built piece by piece while they clung to mine like ivy choking a wall. And suddenly, I remembered last Thanksgiving, how I bought the turkey because Mom said prices were too high this year. How I paid for the centerpiece because your aunt is coming and she'll notice. How I left with nothing, not even leftovers, not even a photo. They'd posted group shots online. I wasn't in them. I'd told myself I was just the one holding the camera, but deep down I knew I wasn't part of the picture, just the one who made it possible. This year, there were no pictures. I checked their feeds. Radio silence. Embarrassed? Maybe. Or maybe they just didn't think of it. Maybe they'd rather pretend the holiday didn't happen without me, or maybe they were waiting for me to fix it. I thought of the years I spent picking up their slack. The time Dad forgot to file taxes and I covered the penalty. The time Adam overdrafted 3 accounts and I lent him $800. The time Mom maxed out her card, helping a friend, and I quietly paid it off to protect her credit score. I never asked for praise, but I also never expected silence. That was the part that hurt. Not the rejection, not even the lie, but the way they expected it. Like I'd be too guilty to pull away. Like love meant giving until I had nothing left and smiling while I did it. That morning, I did something I hadn't done in a long time. I called the landlord, the one I'd set up automatic rent with years ago, back when they couldn't afford the place after Dad's surgery. "Hi, this is Jacob. Just calling to let you know I won't be covering the rent for 384 Northfield anymore." A pause. "Oh, are they aware?" "They will be." Next, I called the bank, removed my name from the shared emergency account. Then I called the credit company and revoked Mom's co-signed card, blocked Adam's gas card, changed the password on the streaming services I paid for. Every click, every call, every confirmation. It was like bricks lifting off my chest. They'd built their peace on my silence. That silence was over. Around noon, Adam called. I let it ring. Then Mom, then Dad, then a group call. I didn't answer. Then came the texts. "Mom, Jacob, we're really upset. Call us." "Dad, you're taking this too far." "Adam, are you seriously going to screw us over because of a holiday dinner?" That one made me laugh, as if it was about the pie, as if this wasn't about 1,000 cuts that had finally drawn blood. I didn't answer any of them. I went for a walk. The air was cold, dry, clean. I stopped at a bookstore, picked up a novel I'd been meaning to read, bought myself a decent lunch, and turned my phone off completely. That night, I slept like a rock, but I knew the quiet wouldn't last. 3 days after Thanksgiving, I came home to find them waiting. My mom stood on the front steps like she had every right to be there. Like this was still her house, still her world. Her eyes were red, but there were no tears. Just the look of a woman who thought she could still talk her way out of this. Dad stood beside her, arms crossed, jaw locked, like he was holding himself back from yelling. Adam was slouched in the back seat of Mom's SUV, scrolling his phone like the whole thing bored him. I didn't say a word. I just walked up, unlocked my door, and stepped inside. Mom pushed forward and caught the door with her foot. "Jacob," she said, her voice tight, "we need to talk." I leaned on the door, blocking the way. "No, we don't." Dad took a step closer. "You've lost your mind. You shut us out. You canceled the rent, froze the cards. You think that's normal behavior?" I stared at him, dead in the eyes. "You think locking me out on Thanksgiving was normal?" He opened his mouth, but nothing came out. "You weren't locked out," Mom snapped. "You weren't invited." There it was. No sugar, no soft edges. Just the truth. My chest tightened, but I didn't flinch. "Wow, thanks for the clarity." "You're twisting this," she said. "We just wanted peace this year. No tension, no guilt trips, no drama." I laughed. Low, humorless. "So you cut out the person who pays for everything. Makes sense." "You don't pay for everything," Adam called from the car. I pulled out my phone and scrolled to the voice memo, the one I'd recorded accidentally when Adam forgot to hang up that night. I hit play. He still thinks paying for everything means he's part of the family. Silence. Mom's face lost all color. Dad's fists clenched tighter. Adam stepped out of the car, defensive. "That was a joke. You're taking it out of context." "No," I said, stepping outside. "You just finally said what all of you think." "That's not true," Mom whispered. "Really?" I looked her dead in the eye. "Because I've been paying your bills for 5 years. I fixed Dad's car, I covered Adam's rent, I paid for that stupid Cancun trip 2 years ago. And what do I get? A locked door and silence." "You were being dramatic," Dad muttered. "You stormed off." "No," I snapped. I walked away. Finally. Mom tried again. We were thankful. We just needed a break from what? I interrupted. My presence? My expectations? Or my existence? She didn't answer. Dad tried to step in. You think you're better than us because you've got a little money? No, I said coldly. I think I deserved respect, but I'll settle for silence. That's not fair, Mom said, voice breaking. We raised you. And I kept raising you, I said, fury laced in every word. Financially, emotionally. You weren't parents. You were liabilities. Adam lost it then. You're such a martyr. You throw money around and expect us to worship you. I expected basic decency, I said. But it's okay. I've recalibrated. You can't do this to us, Dad said. Your mother's been sick with stress. That's not mine to carry anymore, I said, voice flat. Figure it out. Mom stepped forward, desperate now. You're our son. No, I said, backing into the doorway. I was your sponsor, your backup plan, your scapegoat. Jacob, please, she said, her voice barely a whisper. We need you. I paused, not out of doubt, but because I wanted the words to land. You only need me when I'm useful, I said. And I'm done being useful. Then I shut the door, not slammed, just closed it. Final. Their muffled voices rose outside, knocking, calling my name. I didn't answer. For the first time in years, I didn't feel anger or guilt. I felt peace. They didn't stop knocking for 10 full minutes. Eventually, the voices faded. The footsteps retreated. The SUV doors slammed shut. I peeked through the blinds just in time to see them drive off. Mom in the passenger seat. Dad gripping the wheel like he wanted to break it. Adam staring at his phone. I turned my phone to silent, and for once, I didn't check a single message. The next morning, my inbox was overflowing. Mom, Jacob, your father is really unwell. This stress is affecting his heart. Adam, you're being cold? I don't even recognize you. Dad, we're done reaching out. Up to you now? It was all so familiar. Guilt dressed as concern, manipulation wearing the mask of love. That weekend, I went hiking. No cell signal, no digital leash, just trees, cold air, and silence that didn't demand anything from me. I came back Sunday night feeling human again. Then came the group text. From Mom. Family meeting? Monday, 6 p.m. Come home. I stared at it for a full minute, then laughed. Not bitterly, just in disbelief. They were calling a meeting, not apologizing, not asking, summoning. I should have ignored it. I should have stayed home, stayed warm, stayed free. But part of me needed the closure, not for them, for me. So Monday at 6 p.m. sharp, I pulled into the driveway of my childhood home. The lights were on. The yard was clean. The same wreath from Thanksgiving still hung crooked on the front door. Inside, they were waiting. Mom stood by the kitchen table, hands clasped. Dad was pacing. Adam leaned against the counter, hoodie up, avoiding eye contact. No one spoke. I stepped in, shut the door, and said nothing. Mom broke first. Jacob, she said gently, this has gone too far. We're family. We don't just cut each other off. I raised an eyebrow. That's exactly what you did. That was a mistake, she rushed to say. But you're punishing us, and it's cruel. I folded my arms. You want to talk cruelty? Let's talk about their eyes wide. It's not easy for us. No, I said. Because I hate it. You always thought you were like the old. It is. Respect. That's all they ever wanted. There was silence. Then Mom whispered, "We do." No, I said. You love the things I do. You love the way I make your lives easier. Me? The person? You shut him out. Please, she said. We can fix this. I already did, I said. They all stayed. I fixed it. I'm walking away. I regret this, I said, his voice low, almost like a threat. Maybe, I said, but at least I understood what I said. I turned to leave. Wait, Mom called out. Jacob, we lost the house. I froze. What? She swallowed hard. The rent bounced. We fell behind. The landlord's evicting us. Your father blames me. I moved out. Falling apart. I looked at her. The same woman who smiled while I paid for groceries. Who told me I was so independent every time I asked why Adam got more. I'm sorry. She whispered. I see it now. We used you. I believed her. Not because I wanted to, but because you didn't care anymore. I hope you figure things out, I said. I really do. And I walked out. No screaming, no crying, just a quiet final goodbye. I didn't cry. I didn't rage. I didn't feel anything that night. I went home, made myself a bowl of soup, and sat on the couch while the snow started to fall outside. My phone buzzed. I looked, and buzzed again. I didn't look. I didn't need to. The messages were always the same. Mom, please, Jacob, we're broken. Dad, you made your point. Now come fix it. Adam, I didn't mean it. You know that. I didn't respond. Not out of spite, out of peace. For the first time in years, I had no obligations, no expectations hanging around my neck like lead. No one to rescue. No one asking for just one more thing. That night, I slept through the entire night without waking up once. Weeks passed. I returned to my routine. Work, gym, books. I cooked real meals for myself. I rearranged the furniture. I deleted shared calendars and cleared my favorites list. Every day, I reclaimed a little more space that used to belong to them. One Saturday morning, I ran into my old neighbor, Mrs. Andrews, while taking out the trash. She squinted at me, hands stuffed in her oversized coat. Jacob? Honey, I heard about your folks. I'm so sorry. I said nothing. She nodded, as if filling in the blanks herself. They moved out last week. You probably knew. Landlord's already got a for rent sign up. I heard, I said softly. She studied me. You okay? I smiled. Not wide, not fake, just honest. I think I'm better than I've been in a long time. She smiled back. Good. About time. When I got back inside, I opened a drawer I hadn't touched in years. Inside, old photos, family vacations, birthday parties, Thanksgiving dinners from another lifetime. Pictures where I stood just slightly off to the side. The one holding the camera, the one footing the bill. I held one up. Me and Adam's kids. Messy hair, matching pajamas, wide smiles. I felt something shift in my chest. Not longing, just a memory settling where it belongs. In the past. My phone buzzed again. A new message from Mom. We lost everything.